What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster, and we have an update now for a story that's been kinda running in the background for a while in the video game industry now. After Concord was shut down, we've all been wondering what will happen to that game, and what will happen to the studio that made them, Firewalk Studios.
What are they gonna do to me, Sarge? What are they gonna do?
Well, we kinda knew this one was coming, but here it is anyhow. Sony has announced that they are permanently closing down Firewalk Studios after the embarrassingly horrific failure of Concord, and they are permanently keeping Concord off the market. I don't know how many times these jackasses in the industry have to be told. You'd think that Concord would now be a loud enough message for them, but just in case it wasn't, let me be very clear for these people. Characters that look like this are not appealing to your average gamer. Yes, I'm sure that the people in your HR departments at Sony told you how stunning and brave all of this was. They told you that you were a good little soldier for making your characters ugly, but the market had a different message, and you've got to wonder just how despondent these people at Firewalk were when they saw how poorly their game was selling.
I'm not gonna let anyone get in my way! I'm a failure.
But for everyone else who have been trying to tell these morons that we don't like this kind of game, that we want them to stop focusing so damn hard on hitting their DEI goals and maybe focus on, I don't know, maybe making a game that's actually fun to play, for those of us who have been saying that, we get to have a different reaction now that the studio is closed down.
Let's rock this joint!
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to refer to it as these days. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. Alrighty then, let's look at what they're doing with Firewalk and Concord. You may remember that there has been a ton of speculation over the past few months that Sony might try to fix the game. The thought was that they would hire some new artists to come in and redesign the characters and see if they could repackage Concord into a free-to-play game with skins that people actually might like. People noticed that over the past few months, there were always a couple people playing the game on Steam. Everyone assumed that these were testers for Firewalk Studios and that they were in the process of revamping things. But that theory is getting thrown out the window now. To be fair, that probably was why we still saw people showing up on the Steam charts playing that game, but Sony has now made it clear that they are absolutely not going to be reviving Concord. This here was their announcement about closing down Firewalk. We're going to skip down to here where it says, regarding Firewalk, as announced in early September, certain aspects of Concord were exceptional, but others did not land with enough players, and as a result, we took the game offline. We have spent considerable time these past few months exploring all our options. I really love corporate talk. They're always trying to spin things into as positive a light as they can make it. Notice how the announcement fails to tell us even one of the things that was positive about Concord. I mean, what positive can you possibly list? The only thing I can think of, and this is really a stretch, but the only positive is that it did seem to be a fairly functional game. When you pressed buttons on your controller or your keyboard, things actually happened. but I have literally not heard anyone speak in a positive manner about this game in any way, and you'd think that with such a historically bad failure, that just this once, the jabronis at Sony could set aside the toxic positivity. But no. Anyhow, it continues, after much thought, we have determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. Blah, blah, you get the picture. Firewalk themselves then put out a tweet, and in it they made a shitload of excuses for their failures, which is emblematic of how studios like this are run these days. Rather than take ownership and admit that you done messed up, these doofuses have gotta deflect. But if you're anything like me, you will enjoy reading their very self-serving tweet. Firewalk is signing off one last time. Firewalk began with the idea of bringing the joy of multiplayer to a larger audience. Along the way, we assembled an incredible team who were able to navigate growing a new startup into a team during a global pandemic. Firewalk was founded in 2018 and was very small for its first couple years, only entering full production in 2022. I love that they're blaming the coof on the game failing. This isn't 2020 any longer, you morons, but whatever. Keep pity farming. I find it amusing. But they continued, we were able to build a new customized engine in Unreal. They were able to manage an acquisition/integration while readying technical and preliminary tests. Once again, they're blaming outside forces for their failures. This is them saying it was difficult to work while Sony was buying them out. But my dudes, the acquisition wasn't what forced your artists to decide that this was a good character design. It was toxic positivity all the way. But we're going to skip down to right here where it says, we took some risks along the way, marrying aspects of card battlers and fighting games with first-person shooters, and although some of these and other aspects of the IP didn't land as we hoped, the idea of putting new things into the world is critical to pushing the medium forward. But here's my question. What new things did you people actually do in the industry? As far as I can tell, there are really only two things that you idiots did that were new, and they caused the game to fail in a big-ass way. The first thing is, you guys decided to take the hero shooter genre, which has been historically a free-to-play genre, and you slapped a $40 price tag on it. Not exactly a brilliant move. And then, in that same hero shooter genre, where the player's connection to characters is so crucial, you decided to make purposely ugly characters. Now, ugly characters aren't new, but using them in a AAA hero shooter? I don't think I've ever seen it before, not at this scale. So yeah, these guys are toast, as we knew they would be. The gaming community has taken down another studio, which failed to provide anything of value, and I sure as hell am not sad to see them go. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your mockery one last time for Concord and Firewalk into the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.